welcome back, you sexy, cute anime watchers.
Yes,
We
sir.
got another very special
Just a
live
normal
action
episode.
review. And we are getting into Avatar, The Last Airbender. It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix, y'all.
Hide your kids, hide your wife, and go
I
watch that
wouldn't.
shit.
I wouldn't hide them. I think that's
Hide them and
also.
go watch
If
it.
it, all I'm saying is, if you hide your wife and your kids without reason, that's also called kidnapping.
Yeah, I didn't say without reason. You heard me. It's on recording. I didn't say without reason.
It's on recording. Check with the judge. It's been
Yeah,
recorded. I never
I
said
literally just said that.
that.
It wasn't.
All right, let's get right into it.
Yeah.
Let's get
So
right into it.
a lot of hype getting into this, man. We did all the trailers. We watched all of them. We
We
had a
watched
lot of
every
hype
single
going
one of
into it.
them. Yeah, well, this anime is pretty much made up our childhood, right?
Yeah,
Like
it did.
this and Dragon Ball Z
Yeah.
were our two mainstays.
Mm-hmm.
Those were like our two go-to animes. And
Yep.
for your guys' reference, this is an anime. Go fuck yourselves.
Yes, it is.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I'm tired
But
of that shit. I'm
I
tired of
fucking
that. It's not an anime. Dude,
it
has every
wasn't made
component.
in Japan.
It doesn't even have Japanese in it.
Yeah, all
I
right,
don't
dude.
care.
No one cares.
I don't
But
care.
that being said, before the show came out, there was a lot of criticisms, and there's a lot of things that came out before the show came out that like got people worried. I know the biggest one was the creators leaving the show, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
that was pretty big.
that was a huge one, and it was because the whole M Night Shyamalama debacle. And
Yep.
so they're like, "Hey, the creators are involved in this one. This one's gonna be good. This is
Yep.
that." And the creators are like, "Nah, dude, we out." But
Yeah.
I know after watching it and having a little bit of time to kind of think about it, I
Uh-huh.
genuinely think I understand why the creators left. And as always, I could be wrong. I don't know the creators personally. I
I
don't
thought you
exchange
did.
text messages
Yeah, I
with
was about to
them.
say, I thought you called them up every
Oh
day.
yeah,
Like, hey,
I got an
yo,
idea.
I got an idea on the
Hear
new
me out.
Avatar.
Yep,
Hear me out.
hear me out. Yeah, and so it's all speculation on our part, but I think Netflix did do a good job of getting a lot of the things that actually happened into the show. I thought they
Yeah.
did a very good
The
job of that.
settings,
Yeah,
specifically the settings, they
yeah,
made it a point to put in a good amount of iconic settings.
right. And so I think they did a very good job of that. I think they missed out on one of the most important aspects of the show, which is the fun aspects of it. And I think it kind of
Well, and
not
hold on,
kind
are you
of.
before you elaborate, are you saying that the fun aspect is why you think part of the reason they left is?
I think it's majority of the reason.
Okay, cuz
And
because
the reason why is it's more than just the fun. I just think they miss the whole idea behind it because it essentially changed the tone of the show. Wouldn't you agree? Them
yeah,
taking
for
all of that
sure.
fun. I mean, I apologize. That's kind of a dumb thing to say now that I'm saying it out loud. Oh, you take one aspect out of it and it changes what happens in the show. Like, yeah, of course it does, jackass. I apologize
Yeah.
for that dumb point. But with
Yeah.
that being said, like they took out the fun and it became a very, very, very serious kind of live action. That was kind of the tone
Right.
from the live action, I thought. And
Yeah.
I don't think that was the intention of the show. And so I know obviously it had a very serious
Well, what do
storyline
you think the
that
main
drove
intention
it.
of the show was?
I think the point of the show was as a whole, like at least the anime. I think it was a light-hearted kid who had to learn how to become something he never wanted to be because that's who he was. And I think by taking that fun out, they took out a lot of character development for Aang as we kind of grew with him. Because as we're getting older, we're seeing him kind of grow into this role of becoming the Avatar, something he had rejected for most of his life. And
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think that's something that got missed. And I think that's why the creators left.
he still, seemed like a kid and he still seemed like he was running away from it to me in the live action.
To think so? I didn't.
Yeah. No, I just don't think you can be gone for 100 years. And this is the show, right? The show
Yeah,
is he's
yeah,
gone
yeah.
for 100 years and he comes back and you're 100% right. they made it a point to make him more of a kid trying to have fun at times and then getting serious, trying to have fun at times and then getting serious. So you're spot on there, but the idea of live action being so much quicker and you're trying to put so much more pressure on the Fire Nation taking over, I don't
Hmm.
mind that they made it more
Yeah,
serious.
and I know the live action's got to be quicker, and we'll get into it as we get through the show on a lot of the like changes they made and stuff like that. And there were some changes that I liked. There are some changes that I understood that you had to make because you
Well,
only have a certain amount of time. But ultimately, I think so. Just so you guys are aware, Blackie liked the show.
yes, I did the live action.
I did not. I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it either. It was really hard for me to get through. It just wasn't my favorite. Like I think that's the best way I can put it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. It was just kind of okay, it's a show, it's fine. They got most of it in there. And so, with that being said, we both have very different thought process along the lines of what happened in the show and what we think of it. Me personally, what I've come to realize in having these conversations with you in particular is that I'm a stickler for staying true to the source material,
Mhm.
and I think you could agree with that. That
Oh, yeah,
I tend to want them to sit on that
100%.
a lot
I
more.
think to a fault, but, each person
Possibly,
has their opinion.
everybody has their opinion, and so and it's an opinion, right?
Yeah,
There's no right or wrong in that. It's just
right.
fucking
You can
I
want it,
have
I'm
one
okay.
way that I want it
Mhm,
and you have another way that you want it.
mhm,
Uh More often than not, mine will leave me heartbroken.
right. Well,
Cuz it's a fucking
let
crazy
me
thing to do.
clarify on my end because your your opinion is that it should stay completely true to it, which, yeah, of course, in a perfect world, I want that to be the same exact show that you see from there to there. I just understand that there's a lot more little things that they have to take into account, in my opinion, that forces them to change it to a degree. So that's what I give credit in regards to, or leeway in regards
Right,
to the
right.
plot and the source material on live actions.
See, and here's the thing, like I don't need them to do shot for shot remakes because I think I've mentioned that I actually liked the One Piece live action, right?
Yeah.
And I like the One Piece live action, and they didn't stay shot for shot true to the actual source material of the anime. And I say it all the time. The animes are going to lose stuff from the mangas. The live actions are going to lose stuff from the animes. That I understand. I just wish that the stuff that it lost wasn't most of the fun stuff that they were doing. I think that's where I kind of sit with that. I wish they would have chose to keep some of that versus cut all of it. There are some other things I didn't like, but like no show's gonna be perfect, right? Like no
Yeah.
show's gonna have every single thing that you like. It is what it is.
No, but the leap from what M Night did to the leap to what they did is
Oh, leaps and
just
bounds
it's
better.
leaps and
Yeah,
bounds better. And to be honest, I was telling you this, and it felt like this is what should have happened those years ago, and then they could have built on this
to
now,
make
if
a
that makes
better.
sense, to make it
So
even better.
if this would have happened back when M Night Shyamalama ruined everything, including my
Then
life,
we would have potentially gotten a perfect Airbender live action by
this
now.
time around,
Right.
gotcha.
So I think they did an amazing job putting in characters, and they did an amazing job doing that within certain settings. So, like for instance, Omashu's the first one that comes to mind. The way that they put Jet,
Yeah,
obviously Boomy was there,
they shoved
but
everybody in Omashu.
the mechanic they put him in there with his son, which was I think a dope addition.
That was one
And
I didn't
then
mind. Yeah, I
and
didn't mind that.
I think they had I think that was it, right? That was all that was in Amashu. But they
Yeah.
did some solid jobs in regards to changing the plot, but keeping the plot and then merging something as well. So kudos to them for doing that on my end.
Uh, yeah, the Yamashu, I didn't mind them cramming everybody together like that. That was one where
The
it's like, okay,
cabbages
we
guy,
don't.
that's what I was thinking of.
Oh, okay,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
Go
That
ahead.
was one where we didn't need to see Aang go up to the Air Temple Island and find
Right,
the
and then
mechanic
see them, and then they
and
do
then
the
get
whole
yeah.
airplane thing, and
That
then
that f I'm gonna go ahead and add this, like, that was the best part well done, or no, I would say the second best because I actually liked what they did with the avatars helping Aang out,
yeah,
the
that was
past
pretty dope
avatars. I
too.
did I did really like that.
Yeah, they fucked up Roku a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But, like, with this, I would say I liked it, but they also, in this, did Boomy probably the dirtiest of
Yeah.
any character at all,
Uh,
right? I I
not all of them, but we have one more in
Oh,
mind.
yeah, oh, of course, yeah, sorry, my bad.
But yeah, Boomy's a
Um,
close second.
Very close second. But
Yeah.
with Boomy's is different from the other one because,
We don't even wanna say it.
we'll talk about her next because we'll stop
Yeah,
talking about this immediately to
yeah,
talk about that,
we'll end up
right?
rambling.
Yeah, so, like, with
Boomy.
Boomy, I don't think it because I think they picked the right actor for it. I think
Perfect.
he did a good job
Dude looks
being
just like
Boomy.
him too.
I think that one was a storyline change that I fucking hated. I
Yeah,
hated
that
it so
was
much. Like,
I could see that.
I just don't
I didn't like it either.
like. All right, so we all know Boomy is a member of the White Lotus, right?
Mhm.
And that comes out at the end of the show,
Yeah,
correct? Like,
yeah.
that's what
We know.
happens.
Yep.
So if he's a member of the White Lotus, why are you making Boomy a character now who resents Aang
Yeah,
for leaving or disappearing for the 100 years? Like,
right,
so you're saying he's not a member of the White Lotus anymore? Because that's the only
right.
thing that would make fucking sense. Because the White Lotus is there to help the Avatar.
Yeah,
That's what one of their jobs is. So are we just dissolving that completely? And if so, why would we fucking do that?
yeah, it made 0
It
sense.
makes zero sense.
Especially considering how good of a job they did with Iroh, because
Oh,
Iroh
fucking phenomenal.
is the first White Lotus member you see, and they
Fucking
nailed him
phenomenal.
on point. Even when he had that discussion with
So good.
Aang in there, it made it feel like, is he on the Fire Nation side or is he on the Avatar side? Like they do a great job of depicting him as a White Lotus member versus Boomy. Which again, even though I like the live action, I can 100% point to that and say, yeah, that was some bullshit because they made Boomy like
Yeah,
look
they
like an
did him
ass.
fucking dirty because, like, Iroh, like you mentioned, Iroh was fucking phenomenal. I personally had him as my like the best casting, the best character in the show. I think you had
Zuko.
Zuko. You had
But
Zuko as the best one.
we'll start with Iroh first in that duo. What did you love about what they did with Iroh?
Well, I like their dynamic. They kept the Iroh and Zuko dynamic very good. That one is consistent with what it was in the anime, but that
Mm-hmm.
also makes sense because it's not a goofy kind of a thing that they did there. So in the anime, like they always had a very serious,
They had some goofy moments.
yeah, but it was a very serious relationship.
Yeah.
Um, with that being
More
said,
so on Zuko's side.
they did do Iroh dirty in one situation, and that was with the bounty hunter. They did
Mm-hmm.
him super dirty. That was my favorite Iroh moment where he
Yeah, we
fucking
were saying
catches
that in the
her. Yeah,
trailer
when he
too.
catches her, and he's just
Yeah.
like,
Well, and it would have been
ah,
cooler. They did reverse the roles, and that was a little funny, even though they reversed the roles. Like I see what they did there, but it would have been so much better to see the classic like Iroh hitting on her, or like being extra nice, or offering her tea or some shit like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, like, it didn't change anything in the story,
No,
like, it was
it wasn't
fucking fine.
anything.
It was
Yeah,
fine. It was just, like, one of my favorite moments that I, like,
yeah,
really enjoyed about him.
yeah,
Like, "You
yeah,
fucking dirty old man, you."
yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
Iroh's cool as shit, dude. Iroh trying to slide in with a baddie, bro.
Right. No,
I ain't mad at you, Iroh.
with Iroh too, I loved that they had his son in there. That they showed his son passing away, and why he kind of is the way he is, and then they coupled that with Zuko there at the funeral. I
Yeah.
thought that was an excellent job as well, kind of trying to show
They did add the Zuko at the funeral thing.
right. So
Because
I thought go ahead.
Because they in the anime they showed Iroh's son,
Right.
like in the photo at like a funeral and stuff like that, but they didn't show the
Then
Zuko
Zuko
thing.
wasn't there. You're
Right.
right. No, so
So
that's
I did
another
think that was a
addition
nice touch.
that was dope because it made it show that respect that Zuko had for Iroh, and then also the beginning of that relationship with Iroh kind of wanting to look after him. So
Yeah, it's interesting because I think I've told you this before, where it's like I look at the casting across the board, right? And as I look at the casting across the board, this is one of the very few shows. This might be the only show I can think of, at least, where I agree with 99% of their casting. And I think 99% of the people they picked were perfect for the roles.
perfect, dude.
99%, right?
Perfect.
Literally, only one person I could think of was not
Yeah, we're
a
not
good
gonna
fit.
talk about that person yet.
I'm about to bring him up here in a second. But like
Give me
I
a minute.
think,
I want to go ahead.
yeah, but I think like 99% of it was good. And I'm like, dude, the casting was strong.
Yeah,
Everybody depicted their person perfect. I just
yeah,
didn't like the show. I just didn't like the show. And so that only leaves like the changes that they made that it just didn't make me happy as an
right.
Avatar fan.
Well, and speaking of the changes, another big change that they made that I absolutely loved was with Zuko, and they changed the Zhao relationship, and that one I liked because even though we like the head-to-head direct confrontation between them two, I still liked how it kept it sublime under like a realistic circumstance. So
Yeah, I didn't care for
realistically,
that one.
yeah, realistically, it made sense in regards to the change. So I liked that, and then I also liked that they added the blue spirit moment in there as well with Zuko. That one they kept pretty consistent.
That one was pretty much the same. It was pretty
Right.
much the same as what
No,
it
that
was in
was
the anime.
consistent.
That I
I
rode
didn't
with
mean that
super
in regards
hard.
to changes, but Zuko, they hit every fucking point with him, and I love how he drove it home each time. He did a
Yeah,
phenomenal
they
job.
did a good. They picked a good actor for that. He did a
And
really
they
good
gave
job,
him
man.
all the perfect moments.
Yeah, and the blue spirit scene was dope. But that was like I said, it was pretty much straight out of the anime, damn near.
Yeah.
And so that I was like, all right, cool. Like I fucks with that. I've always liked that scene, and they did it exactly the same. It's crazy that when you rely on the source material, things end up
Oh,
pretty fucking good.
this was the change, my bad. The 41st crew member story.
Oh shit,
That
I
was
did
it.
like that. I did
Yeah,
like that.
so the dopest change I think that they made in the entire show was that, where it was just Zuko speaking out of line in
Right.
the animated series,
Right.
but in this one, they changed it to him speaking out of line, of course, but it was to save that 41st platoon, and then in response to his banishment, the people he spoke out with, he has to take on, um, and the moment that they had when Iroh was explaining that, and then he walked back up and they were finally respected him, I liked it, even though it was different than the animated series.
Yeah,
I thought they nailed that.
that one I thought was a nice little touch. I thought that was cool. What was a nicer little touch is your little smirk that you had on your face right now. I don't know if you know that, but when you watch this back, please make sure you watch when you start to smirk. Cuz you're like and like you tilted your head forward and threw like a little half smirk up there.
Dude, there's something with you and me. Anytime I show any ounce of emotion past doing this, the entire time, you're like, oh, 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 every single time.
Every single time without fail. Yeah, man.
Jesus.
You emote in a weird way, bro.
I say something a little bit more exerted. You're like,
It's
dude,
and you know, it's
energy
not even that you
levels.
say it's
I
not that
make
you
a
say
facial expression.
anything.
My eyes go up. You're like, "What are you looking at, dude?
Yep,
What?"
yep,
Like you do
yep.
all the same shit, but
I
then
sure
you
do.
comment on me doing
I
it.
sure do.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the only thing that you said there that I don't do is the weird vocal inflection thing that I'll never get over because it's just random points in your sentences. Like it's not at the start of every sentence. Sometimes you'll start a sentence with one word and then emphasize the very next word.
Yeah,
And sometimes it makes sense where you're like and where it's like a modifier. You're like and that where it's like okay, of course you're going to emphasize that. But you'll be like and that dude or and that dude.
I
Like,
don't
what
talk
is
like that. That's
that's
exaggerating.
it was an exaggeration of what you do.
Yeah.
But that is like a very,
No, I see
very,
what you
very
mean.
similar to what you do. Where it's just like if I had to pick a word, I would never get it right, is my point.
You damn right
Is
you
like
would.
you don't you're damn right. Fuck you. You'll never get it right.
You
Try.
damn right. I'm one
Try.
of a kind over here, bitch.
Yeah, but it's just funny because I can't follow it for that reason. And that's what I made by that is that's the only one where it's like, huh. I wonder what goes through his head every time. Like I wish I knew the like what's happening when you
Yeah.
decide you want to raise and lower because it's just all over the place.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
back to the show. Enough about you. Fucking selfish, dude.
Thank you for talking about me. I appreciate
Enough
it.
about you. Dude, why are we still talking about you? All
You
right?
keep saying
This
it.
is enough.
Yeah. This is
That's
on
what
you.
happens. See, all of you guys with a younger
Enough about
sibling,
me and more
all
about
of you
Suki.
guys, oh,
Oh,
Suki,
Suki
Suki
now.
now. Hey,
Oh
dibs,
shit.
dibs.
I don't give a damn. Hey, Suki. You know what I can do? I
Nothing
can
because
bend
I dibbed her.
I can bend one element, and that element is my penis.
Jesus. Side note. All right. Well, let me know when you're done. I don't know
I'm
what you're
never gonna
doing.
be done, man. Suki, I know you watching.
Please, guys, comment below on how fucking weird that got. Please comment below on how weird that
Yo,
fucking
she
got.
is a
No,
masterpiece.
I told you though, right? I had to fucking like I saw her and I was like, oh my god, the love of my life just entered the show. I was like, the
Yeah.
absolute
Oh
love of my
man.
life just entered the
Oh,
show. And I go, wait a sec. Let me double check.
good
And I had to
lord.
look her up and make sure she was over the age of 21.
Yeah.
And she's like 24,
Yeah. Be
25,
careful,
something like that. And I was like, okay, I stand corrected. I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm good here.
man.
She is the
Absolutely
love of
beautiful.
my life.
Did a
She is
phenomenal
the
job.
love of my life. Yep.
Yeah.
And
They
she
did
is
the whole Kyoshi
absolutely
thing perfect.
yeah, she's absolutely stunning if you ever look her up. I can't think of her name right now because I just keep
Yeah.
calling her Miss
Miss
Hashira.
Miss Suki now.
Miss Comedy
Mrs.
Hashira.
Hashira. You mean? Okay,
And
buddy.
so I can't remember her name because that's the only way I see it, no matter how many
Yeah,
times I
but
look at it.
you get that's a double positive there when they went to the Kyoshi Island because you got her, and then you also got that taste of the Avatar. And how badass was that
Dude,
moment?
so here's the problem I have with the Kyoshi Island thing, and I think
Uh-huh.
you kind of make fun of me for this.
Uh-huh.
He went over there to ride elephant koi.
Oh, Jesus
I don't
Christ.
like that he accidentally ended up there. Or no, he
Oh
didn't
no,
accidentally end
he
up there.
read
He
Zuko's
went
book
there right, he went there to go talk to Avatar,
because
Kyoshi.
he took
Yeah,
Zuko's Avatar book.
right, yeah, so that was my bad, but
Yeah.
with that being said, can can a nigga just ride the
Here we
elephant
go
koi?
again. Here we
I didn't
go
see
again.
one elephant koi. Not a one. Not a one,
Yep, so you're never gonna watch this
Blackie.
show again.
Never again.
This motherfucker's sitting there
Next
watching
time,
it.
next time you create a show that's supposed to have an elephant koi, you'll remember to add in the elephant
Just
koi. And
you
there's only one way to do that for them. We have to stop watching until they put in our elephant koi.
yeah.
We had to take a stand.
Were you just in your living room watching this, and then your kids come in there, and you're sitting there staring at the screen? Where the fuck is the elephant koi at? Huh? Where
That's exactly what
the
happened.
fuck are
Yeah.
the elephant koi's at? Huh?
Yeah, I actually didn't watch it with my kids with me because my son he just fucking
He's just yapping,
yeah the
just
whole
over there
time, dude.
yapping,
Just yapping.
just
Just
yapping,
nibbling. Just
just yapping
nibbling.
away.
Yeah, he just yaps, dude.
Shut up.
And so it's
Hey,
fine.
look at
It's
me.
fine.
Shut up.
So typically with him, and I think you know this about me, I'll watch it and then I'll go and watch it with him
Yeah,
because
so that
that
way
kills
you.
two birds with one stone, right? The first one is that I make sure it's appropriate for him. Or if it's like, a lot of the times what it is like an anime will
Yeah.
be appropriate and I just gotta scoot over moments. And so that's the first reason I'll watch him first. The second reason is because this motherfucker don't shut up, dude.
Hmm.
Just yapping. Just yapping. You've seen it where I'm like, dude, take 10 minutes.
Hmm.
Take a break, man.
Yeah.
Like, god damn, I
Yeah.
can't
He's
do
a
it,
he's a
man.
yapper.
He's a fucking
He's a
yapper.
yapperoony. But what did you think of General Zhao?
You know, I I I keep going back and forth with him.
He was a prominent villain in this.
I will say that is something I've heard 90% of people like his
I liked
character.
it. Yeah, I thought he did pretty
90% of
well.
people like I would say, yeah, most
He
people
was a
enjoyed his
menacing
character. I didn't mind
motherfucker.
him. I thought he did a
He
good
was an
job.
asshole.
I thought he did a
Yeah.
good job. I didn't mind the changes. I wouldn't say I liked him. I wouldn't say I didn't hate him. Like I was like, okay,
Right.
this is fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is fine. I'm good with
Mhm.
this. I
Yeah.
had no strong emotion to it. Like I was like, he was a bad guy before. He's a bad guy now. Like
Mhm.
you tweak a little thing in there, like here and there, but ultimately that's still the same, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, he had the legendary moment, right, with the moon spirit.
I didn't like the way they did the moon spirit, but
I mean, he fucking whoopsh,
he did do that.
he
They
smacked that
did get
ass.
that right,
Just
at
letting you
least.
know. I think they did Iroh a little dirty. I mean, he did say the line, the tenfold line, but
Mhm.
he looked a little bit more badass in the animated series than he
He
did
really did. But
in
I think the reason for that is they made him a little goofier in the animated series. Like Iroh himself was a little more
eh,
not goofy, more like
Jesus, like
aloof,
I don't
more aloof and
yeah.
free. So I think when he has that moment, you take him more serious because you see the seriousness in
mm,
him, and it just intensifies that moment. Me
Yeah,
personally.
I disagree because I think
Well,
he
you're
did a
wrong.
great job. I think yeah, I think he did a great job of setting it up as a soft character, and then it just would have been cooler if he acted better in that moment. I think they set him up right.
Yeah.
I just don't think he had it in him
Yeah, maybe.
because he didn't put no bass in his voice. You didn't feel it when he
Yeah,
said, whatever you do to that, I'm gonna unleash it tenfold." Like he didn't bring that aggression that
maybe.
he could have, and that's all on acting. That has nothing to do with writing or script.
Maybe I'd have to go back and rewatch it, but I won't. So
Yeah, I was about to
I'll
say.
take
So
your
why
word
would you
for it.
say that when you
I'll take
just
your word for it.
already have said you'd never watch it again?
Well, I'm never gonna watch first season again. I'll continue to watch it because we're gonna continue to make the pod on it.
Right. Now, one thing we haven't even talked about yet, which I guess we could have led off with, is the big three: Aang, Katara, and Sokka.
No, no, we're not talking about them yet because we gotta talk about fucking Azula being trash.
Why would we do that first?
Because I fucking hate her and I can't hold it in any longer. That's why we're gonna do
Oh
it
my
first.
gosh. This is gonna be another 40 minutes.
Yeah,
So we're not gonna talk about the main three.
nothing else. We're
Oh
literally done
my
with our
lord.
show.
Jesus Christ.
Congratulations, guys. The show's over. We're gonna
Jesus
talk about how
Christ.
fucking trash Azula was.
You're gonna have a 3-minute clip of you
Yeah,
just shitting on Azula.
fucking shit, dude. Like, and I do like. So I've thought about this, right? Because we've talked about it before. You know how much I fucking hate this casting, which is why you're worried that I could go literally 40 minutes on it.
Yeah,
But
I mean everybody on planet Earth hates this casting.
it fucking terrible, fucking
It was
terrible.
horrible.
I
It was
think I've
pretty
said
bad.
this before, and I'll say it again. With so I understand that Azula would have had to be probably the hardest character to play
I disagree.
because she has to be a psychopath, and she's also like 12 years old in the show.
Yeah,
She's
but you're
younger
having
than
like
Zuko.
24-year-olds play that character. It's not like an
Right, but
actual
that's what I'm
12-year-old.
saying. Now it's a kid. It is an actual kid playing her.
I know, but I'm saying you
But
could have had a
that's
24-year like
that's what I
Suki
say.
or
That's why I'm saying I'm giving the 12-year-old that played her a break. I don't know if she's actually 12, but
Oh, I
I
thought you
know
were
she's a younger
saying
girl.
to get someone to act like a 12-year-old. You're talking about the actual actor or
Right.
actress.
Actress, correct. So I'm saying what I'm saying is like I give her a little bit of a break on this because I don't know a 12-year-old that I've ever met my entire life that would be able to play a psychotic bitch.
Mhm.
Like Azula is fucking wild, out of control.
Right. Well, and she doesn't even get wild out of control until a little bit later, right? Like
Well,
she's just a
she's
bitch at
well,
first.
I mean,
She's not really psychotic
she's not
until
even in
later.
season 1.
I know, but I'm saying if they could have just given her a little bit of a taste in the season 1 like they did, like they clearly wanted to put her in, just give her a
Clearly.
little.
They
They just
clearly wanted to put her in.
clearly. So instead of doing it as much as they did, as many roles or as I should say as many scenes as they put her in, they should have minimized that to 2 scenes and then they should have made it quick one-liners and she should have been sassy as fuck. She should have been like, "Oh, so Zuko's out there.
Zuzu.
Yeah, Zuzu's out there. He's probably going to fail." That's it. Like leave it at some like shit like that.
Already you did a better job than that little girl.
Yeah,
Already. In the
like
first
put some of
30
that
seconds.
into it. You know what I mean?
See, and
Like,
here's the thing, I do feel really shitty about it because it is a child,
yeah.
and so I feel bad about, like, criticizing her
I
super
don't
hard
think they
on it.
directed her the right way.
So I think I asked you this, and I wanted to ask if your opinion has changed on this. I asked you, do you think they changed the character because of the girl playing? They picked a player,
I think
or do you think that it was like them taming that girl to what they actually wanted? Does that make
yeah.
sense?
Yes, they are taming. I take the second option, and here's my way of describing it. The director, I think, had the wrong perception on what it really meant to be Azula. I think he knew she was bad, obviously. Everybody knows that she's a
That's
psychopath,
why the creators left.
but I
Trash
didn't
show.
I don't think that the director truly understood the essence of like the s-
Avatar.
br-
I
the
agree.
br- the brattiness, the I don't want to say psychotic because that's too easy to go to, but the brattiness, the sassiness, and the directness of her hatred towards Zuko, or her wanting to be better than Zuko. So if he would have truly understood that a little bit more, I think they could have come up with a better game plan.
Yeah. Regardless of what they did.
No, it's not
Trash.
regardless.
It was
It's
trash.
because they could have done better.
But they didn't. So that's why I said,
Right.
regardless
So
of what
not
they did, like
no,
what
what they
caused it
did.
to be this, it's trash. Because they already put it out.
That's like saying
It's
you couldn't
trash.
change it though, regardless.
They can't now. That's what I'm saying. They can't now. So
Oh
regardless of
yeah,
what
no.
ended up
Well, obviously
happening,
that, yeah.
yeah, well, that's what I was saying. So obviously,
You're just pointing out the obvious.
yes, that's what I'm doing right now. It's
Okay.
literally what I'm doing.
I thought you were talking in past tense, like regardless of what they try to do back then, they would have failed. I thought that's what you were
No,
trying to say.
regardless of what
What
ended up or
happened?
what the reason was,
Uh-huh.
the fact remains that it ended up being trash, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like fuck, man. Like I've tried to do that, like, or I've tried to go back and think about what happened here. I was like, is it the casting? Is that
That's
this
the
girl
fun
doesn't
part.
have the range for
That's the
it?
best
Does
part.
this and that? It was just so bad. It was so bad, and at a certain point, I just had to stop myself because that's a deep rabbit hole that I just don't have the time for. And I was like, it's just bad. I'm just gonna leave it there. It's just really, really bad. She didn't belong in season one, anyways. And so, on top of putting her in season one where she didn't belong, like all I'm saying is
They didn't hit anything
all I'm saying,
with her.
when I watch shows, one of my biggest peeves is when they recast people. Like when you sign somebody up, fucking make sure they can do the whole series. With that being said, let's
Which
go
they
ahead and
do
get her
nowadays.
recast. Let's go ahead and get her recast because
Yeah,
she's
I mean,
supposed to drive season two.
well,
Like
again,
Azula is the main person in season two.
I think there's a deeper issue in regards to whoever they cast, the director just doesn't have it on her. Like whoever's teaching her what to do is just completely wrong because you would know. I don't think a recasting is going to change that
Maybe.
because they just the person just does not understand what it truly means to be Azula. And Azula is probably one of the most menacing psychopaths in anime.
Oh, easily one of the most menacing psychopaths. But could be the director, could be that. We'll never fucking know. You know what we should do? We should get the director's number and call him.
Yeah. Damn right it's the director. We
You
were
know,
shitting
guys,
on
if
M.
you
Night
have the
Shyamalan for how
director's
long?
phone number, go ahead and put that in the comments below. We'll reach out to him and we'll talk to him about Azula on the
You
air.
done yapping? Nobody has his number. If you
You
have
don't know
M. Night
that.
Shyamalama's number, please
Oh, I
put
don't
it
need
down
his
there.
number. I need his home address.
Yeah, okay.
I don't want to talk to him. I want to punch
What
him in the
cafe does
face.
he go to every morning? That's what I
Yeah,
want to know.
if you see him on a daily basis and you know his schedule, please toss it my way because I want to fucking jaw jack him.
Yeah. Can we get into the main three now? Are you done with Azula or do you want to say something else?
Well, I mean, I only went on it for like 2 or 3 minutes, so I had
Yeah.
40 minutes. I mean, if you want to move on, I guess we can move on. I can just
Yeah.
forgive.
Who do you want first? The bald headed dude or the player, Mr. Sokka?
Let's do Sokka.
Yeah.
We do
Sokka.
Sokka first. You know,
That has he was one of your favorites, right?
yeah, yeah. He was.
Like he was what, top three?
Yeah,
Because I know Iroh was number one, I'm assuming
yeah.
for
He was
you
top three.
overall.
Sokka was top three. I think it was Iroh, Zuko, Sokka for me.
Okay.
Uh, Yeah, that dude did a phenomenal job playing Sokka. And that was this is one of the ones where one of those it was one of the biggest like points of contention, right? Was that Sokka wasn't gonna be sexist
Mhm.
before the
Oh,
show came
yeah.
out. That came out
Yeah,
fucking
everybody lost their mind.
the internet lost their minds. And I was like, all right, dude. Like
That's it, the whole purpose of his character, Shane. Come on, Kami Hashira.
and it's wild, right? Because I spent the whole time talking about how I prefer things to be more faithful to the anime, right? But with that being said, guys, what did that really fucking change? He was literally sexist for like 4 episodes. Like, and even then, he wasn't really sexist that bad until he showed up into to Kyoshi Island. That's when you really saw it, and that
Yeah.
was like
And
episode
then
3.
and then
And
Suki.
Suki now
Yeah,
whooped his
Suki
ass,
now.
and then he wasn't sexist
Oh,
anymore.
shit. I think he wasn't sexist because of something else. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that might be it too.
You know what I'm saying?
Regardless of the reason, he was just
You know
no
what I'm
longer
saying?
sexist.
That man was
But
like, "Okay, Suki." Okay.
that's weird. It squeaked.
No. No, I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
squeak.
My bad. I thought I heard
Yeah.
squeak. That's my bad.
Well, you asked, so
I
I'm
hear things
answering.
sometimes.
I'm answering.
I'm answering. Not correctly, but I'm answering. Yeah, but it's like what like people lost their fucking minds over that shit.
Lost
Like
it.
we were getting comments about it on shit where we didn't even mention
Mm,
anything about it,
yeah.
right? Like I was like, "Oh, look at Sokka's big ass front teeth. They're probably fake."
Mhm.
Someone's like, "Yeah, and he doesn't have to be sexist either." I was like, "What?" It's like, "Dude, what's going on
What are you
here?"
talking about?
Yes,
What are you yapping
people
about?
have lost their fucking minds over this
Just
shit.
fucking yapping.
They've lost their fucking minds over this shit, dude.
It's crazy.
And it's
It's
like
crazy.
it literally does nothing. It
What
literally
it
didn't you didn't lose anything by him not being
Right.
sexist.
What did you think about his comedy in this?
I thought they tried, which is pretty much and it's funny because
That's the
that's
only thing
pretty
you
much who
expected?
Sokka is.
Yeah, he just
He just
tries to be
tries.
funny.
He just tries
Yeah.
with these trash jokes and I appreciate it. They
Yeah.
never really make me laugh, but I always giggle. And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Sokka, you sly devil dog, you."
Yeah. Yeah, I will say
Ladies,
that
man.
they did have that awkward moment with him in the trailer where he was saying the meaning of his character and it being like, you don't have to be a warrior to be successful or something like that or like
Yeah.
help out. It's like, dude, he's clearly a warrior. I mean, that was his whole point.
Yeah, I got a lot of criticism for my take on
Calling
that.
him a warrior.
Yeah. There's like we got fucking like 20 comments
Yeah.
telling me I'm a fucking idiot.
He
I
just
was like,
he just strategizes. He's not a warrior.
I was like, I'm
Wait,
sorry
what?
guys.
Agree to
Strategy
disagree
is
on that
part of being a warrior.
one. Sorry to break it to you.
Generals, my guy. I don't know what you're doing here. But it's like, I mean, honestly, it genuinely didn't. I was worried about him. Like I saw him in the trailers. I was like, cool, he looks like him. And even in the like where they were doing the behind the scenes where they're talking to him about his character, like he
Mhm.
was making bad jokes. And I was like, okay, he's kind of got
Yeah,
the spirit of Sokka. Like, this is cool. I fucks
yeah.
with it. And then he said the warrior thing, and I was like, maybe he doesn't truly understand Sokka.
That's
Uh,
yeah, 100%.
and it's
I
fine. Like
think
you can
that's
not,
what
and
characters
apparently,
do.
but he still
But
played
he
him
still
well.
played him well, yeah.
So you
He
could
looked
not
just like him
understand
too.
him. Yeah, he did.
Looked just like him.
You couldn't find better looking people for the most part. Like everybody looked so much like their character was fucking insane.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
like if you look at like character, I think the worst one was UA, but yeah.
Still not bad in my opinion,
Oh,
but I
I
see what
mean,
you mean.
at that point, I'm splitting hairs, right?
Yeah, I thought she actually played that role pretty well too.
Yeah, I don't think it's a hard role to play. Just be an uptitled princess.
All right. Well, you can think whatever you want. I
I'm
don't
gonna
give a
think that.
damn. I don't
I'm
give a
gonna think
damn.
that.
No, but Sokka, yeah, he did solid for being Sokka. And then Katara, I didn't like how she's a master airbender all of a sudden. Like they didn't really show her training at
A
all.
master airbender.
Or I'm sorry, waterbender.
I was like, I was gonna agree with you. I was like, wait, huh?
Yeah, master waterbender. Like they didn't really show her training, and it would have been cool if they showed the scroll moment, which they did, and then they showed
Well,
Paku.
they didn't show the
But
scroll moment where she stole it. Is that the scroll moment
no,
you're talking
no.
about?
No, I'm
Just
talking
her
about,
learning
like,
from the
her
scroll.
using it, yeah.
Okay,
So, they showed that, which was cool,
yeah,
What they could have added, which would have helped her development because she was training around this time, would be John when they met up with him because she was
Fuck.
training around that. But hold on, I know you want to go on that. And then at the end with Paku, um, he didn't train her at all. Like that whole thing was,
Yeah.
yeah, and they did that. They set it up perfect where it was like Paku was like, "Nah, you're a fucking girl. We don't train girls. You guys heal." And that was perfect, but they didn't show the reconciliation and then the training with
Right.
Aang too. They didn't show Aang training either. So those were some disappointments, but
And I think I've said this too, but it's like with Paku, that shit's kind of funny, right? Because they're like, hey,
yeah,
we're going to get rid of Sokka and all of his sexism
but we're gonna
because
keep it
times have changed. But with
right,
Paku, because he's an old man, we're like, yeah, okay, we're going to let him be super sexist.
right,
And we're going to let him do this, and that'll be cool. But
right,
ultimately, like, it's because he's going to grow from it. And it's
yeah,
like, dude, that's exactly what happens to Sokka.
mm,
Sokka was sexist, gets beat up by a girl, and then learns to appreciate women as equals.
right. With Paku and not with
Yeah,
Sokka, but at the same time,
it didn't change anything, and nor
not
would
the
it.
biggest
I
deal.
think it's, but still, you know what I mean? It's like, why did
Yeah,
we pick that one and not that one? Like,
right. You're
be
splitting
consistent.
hairs.
Be
Yeah.
consistent, guys.
Uh,
Another
but
reason why your
that
show sucks.
back to John, that would have been super dope if they even had John.
Fucking
That would have been like one of the biggest surprises too, because there was no hints at it. So having John in there, man, he was such a legendary OG. Like he looked like that old head that just be
yeah,
meditating all the time. Like he was so
yeah.
dope.
And then we also don't get that Roku moment where Roku here, where fucking Roku takes over Aang, and he's like, "You will train him, motherfucker."
Yeah.
Because John's like, I'm not gonna train him. Roku's like, hey nigga, yes you is.
Yeah, and then
Yes
he goes
you
that
is.
legendary line where he's like, "You or there I've learned it a million times over." He didn't say a million times, but it was dope the way he confronted him.
Yeah. And then so it's like, and taking away John takes away a lot because I think that fucks with Aang's development in the future seasons when he starts to learn airbending. This is one of the reasons why he lets
You
Zuko
mean
teach him
you mean
eventually.
firebending?
What did I
You
say?
said
Airbending?
airbending.
See, you got me all fucked up. You got me all fucked up. You fucked me up with Katara.
No, that's you. Don't blame me.
And that is 100% your fault. And so it just fucks like they kind of fuck up the flow for the future in a lot of the shit they did,
Nah,
and it's
that's not gonna
fucking
fuck up the
upsetting.
flow.
Yes,
It
it is.
it, it it's gonna fuck up a little bit of the character development, but not the flow of the series.
Okay, I guess you're right. I guess the flow was a bad choice.
Right.
Yeah, but it fucks up his character development, and it
Yeah.
fucks up. So now they got to change. They just got to tweak and change more. They got to change why he picks Zuko to be his firebending teacher in the future. They got to tweak John coming in at a later date
Wow,
because
that's it's gonna be so hard to tweak the Zuko one.
all right, dude, this is why no one likes you. This is why you have no friends.
All he has to do is be like, "Hey, I'm sorry I tried to kill you. Can I help you?" Boom.
Yeah, that usually works for me. That usually does the trick. Hey, I'm sorry I tried to kill you. It's all good, man. It's all good.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and then who else do we got? So that was good. We went over Katara, right? Did we
No,
go over Katara?
not
No, we
really.
didn't go
I
over
did.
Katara.
You didn't.
Yeah, fucking.
She learned waterbending too fast was mine.
That's
I didn't
right.
like that.
That's right. That's where we started. Yeah, she was fine. She did a good job. She was fine.
She was definitely
Uh,
Katara,
I
that's for
think,
sure.
yeah, I think they took away her
She
the
fell in love with Jet. That was I fell in
oh,
love with Jet too. Shit.
that was weird. It's weird. You fell in love with Jet.
Goddamn right. That dude's beautiful. Are you kidding me?
All right, dude. Hey,
Dude's
each
fucking
their own.
amazing, dude.
All right,
Dude
yeah.
looking like Brad Pitt from fucking Troy.
Killing. I don't think that's true.
That's how luscious he was looking.
All right, okay. Yeah, like they didn't make her annoyingly hopeful, and I think that was like a trademark of her personality in the anime.
Is that you just think in negative terms? Annoyingly hopeful?
Yeah, well, she was annoyingly hopeful.
What do you mean annoyingly? Like she should have been grim?
No, but she was just like overly hopeful,
Right.
like to the
You're
point
saying
where
there
it got
should have
annoying.
been More
And they
moments
didn't
where she
and
was like, "Oh no, what are we gonna do?"
no, that's
Instead of
not
being
helpful.
hopeful.
That's not hopeful.
No, you're
Uh,
saying she should have been opposite of hopeful, right? More
no.
often,
No,
because
I just think there's a level of hopeful that makes sense, and then there's katara above that level.
what I'm saying is, what's the alternative? Do you think she should have
No,
been more?
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying she should have been more at this line,
What's this
not the
line? You're
opposite.
not
No, I
saying what
made
the
the
line
line. The
is.
line is hopeful.
You're just saying a line, and then you're saying
Yeah,
hopeful,
I said there's a
and you're
line
saying
of
she needs to be
hopeful.
here. It's
I
like,
said there's a
what does she need to
line
do
of
differently?
hopeful that makes sense. There's a
I
line
need
of
you
hopeful that
here.
makes
Or
sense.
this is you
And
explain.
she was up here.
Azula, you're here.
People,
I need you to be here,
hey,
Azula.
I would have
You're
been
doing
able to get
this
the
right
right
now.
shit out of
Here's
Azula.
here's
So,
the Azula line. I need you to be here. You're here.
yeah, makes sense to me, man. I get exactly what you're saying. You make perfect sense. It's the most sense you've made in a long time, actually.
It's just
But
funny how you just don't
and then
describe shit
and
that
then
you
she's
say.
and she wasn't the morality police in the live action. That bothered me. As much as it bothers me that she likes to be the morality
Oh,
police,
Jesus Christ.
it bothered me that she wasn't.
What the fuck, dude? What is wrong with you?
It's one of those things where it's like you have a toy, you like to play with that toy, and then you stop playing with that toy. And someone else takes that
Right.
toy, and you're like, hey, give me it back. That's my toy.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you never played with the toy. I was like, but it's mine.
It's not
Like, give
fun
it back.
unless you take it.
So that's the morality police. I
Right.
didn't like the morality police, but now they took it away, and I'm like, why is the
What the
morality police
fuck,
not in
dude?
there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's one of the
They're
reasons.
like, hey, we didn't like it. I'm like, well, it's who she is. So fucking
Yeah, fair enough. It's
like if
similar
I
to
thought,
Azula, right?
if I thought you were a dickhead all the time,
Mhm,
right? If
mhm.
you stopped being
I'm
a
loving this
dickhead
example.
and started being a nice person, I'd be like, why are you fucking being nice?
Why are you being nice to me? Get away.
Yeah. I'd be like, what the
Ew.
fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You'd be like, well, I just
Go
try to
back
be
to
a
being
better
a dick,
person.
dude.
And yeah, I'd be like, dude, go back to being a dickhead. I knew that person.
I don't know who you are anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
100% what I'd be like.
I do wanna go over topics where they were underwhelming. And I think they did, and I want to call this topic doing somebody dirty, and I think they did my boy Monk Gyatso
You think of
dirty,
that? Did you think of that all by yourself?
and I think of Monk Gyatso being done did
Ooh,
dirty.
we're gonna
All
give you a
right,
gold
Monk
star, buddy.
Gyatso been done did and dirty,
Monk who?
and he got done did dirty when he was in the air temple defending those little kids.
Can you
He
say
was
his name
supposed to
one more
be
time for me?
Monk Gyatso.
Gyatso
Yeah,
with a G?
Gyatso. Yes,
Is that how you say it? I thought it was Kiatsu.
it's Gyatso.
Are you sure?
I'm positive, bruh.
All right, I'll take your word for it. I've never looked it up.
So yeah, he got done did dirty when he was at the air temple,
Back on
and
this.
we didn't know that they were gonna show the 100-Year War, but on the trailer, technically we did.
That shit was
But
cool.
that was cool that they added it in, and it would
Yeah.
have been even cooler if they added
Cool.
what the animated system made it sound or look like. Where they made it
Where
look
they
like
had a fucking mound of skulls and then
right.
fucking Monk Yatsu was on top.
Yeah, it looked like he killed at least 20 people before he
Yeah,
went out.
was not the case.
No,
It was not the case in the live action.
Sozin Sozin pulled up,
Yeah, I thought they could have, and I
which I
think,
did love how ruthless the Fire Nation was.
yeah. Here's the thing: if you're gonna go full send, right? Like they showed fucking like it was different, because we watch a show, we obviously know what annihilating a whole culture of people means, right? Like he had to kill children, he had to kill everybody.
Killed
It's one thing
every
to
airbender.
know that, it is another thing to fucking see it.
Right.
Because I was like, oh, this motherfucker is evil.
They were burning everybody down.
They were burning fucking everybody. But if you're gonna go full send, go full send. Like let it fly. You know what I mean? Like the airbender should have been fucking niggas up too. Because I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I believe in nonviolence until I see the first body burned.
Yeah.
then
Yeah, I mean,
violence
they're not
seems to
gonna
be
let
the answer.
they're not
You
they
know what I mean?
right, they made it seem like they were just slaughtered, like they didn't even put up a fight.
Uh, Yeah, like what does Mike Tyson say? Like everybody's got a plan until I get punched in the mouth.
Right.
Like I would love to be non-violent, and then second I see a body being burnt alive, I think things are going to get violent pretty quick
Yeah,
to keep
like,
that from
you're
happening.
on a floating rock. Fucking
Throw them off.
airbend them off the floating
Throw
fucking
them
rock.
off. It's
Yeah,
not brain science, guys. Throw them
yeah.
off the fucking rock.
You said brand science?
Brain, brain
Oh,
science.
oh,
I
I
said
thought you
brain.
said brand. I was
Nah, I
like,
said
"What?"
brain this time. Yeah, I do fuck up words a lot, so you're probably just at this point you're probably
Assumed
just
I'm
assuming.
hearing things.
Yep. Just
Yeah.
expect them to happen.
But
But
overall, Monkeyatsu was cool. He
yeah,
did
yeah,
his,
he did a
like,
good job. I think they did
cool
him
little
dirty. They
yeah.
also did airbending a little dirty.
Yeah.
Like fucking they made Aang look like he was flying.
Flying, yeah, that was fucking
We've talked
whack.
about it. Like, all right, dude. So
That
like
was
I think
whack.
you told me you're like they might have been trying to do this or trying to do that.
Right.
And that's fine. And I'm
Mm,
sure they were trying to do it a certain way, but it doesn't
yeah,
matter because
that was whack.
it looked like they were flying.
Yeah.
And
It
it looked
should have
like a
looked like he was
trash
gliding.
right.
It should have looked like he was gliding.
And even then I don't think you have him glide there because he didn't have his glider.
Well, no, and I meant, like, jump up and then, like, slowly glide down rather than, like, this motherfucker was going like this. He would go up in the air like he was
Okay.
floating, like he was
Yeah.
flying.
Yeah. He was like changing direction in the
Yeah, and it's
air
like,
by like
I
fucking
if he just
yeah.
woulda jumped up and then just kinda lofted down, that would have been dope.
Like, it was done wrong in so many ways because it's like, all right, first off, they don't fucking fly,
I
right?
was like,
So,
"They just
right
ruined
out
my
of the
boys are
gate.
here." They just
Right.
ruined
Yeah, that's
That's
what
the
I
first
thought
thing I
too.
thought. I was like,
Yeah. And so I was like, all right, well, first off, they can't fucking fly. So, mistake number one. Two, if you're gonna make them fly, just make them fucking fly.
"Yeah, you might as well go all in."
You might as well go all in if you're gonna make them fly. Make it at least look good. Now it's stupid fucking flying. So not only are they flying, but they look like shit while they're flying because you fucking half-assed the flying.
Yeah, you
'Cause you
let them know.
decided yeah, you decided you're gonna fucking you were like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah,
gonna let him
fuck you
fly."
guys.
Fuck
Yeah,
you guys, dude. You ruined a
fuck
good
you
show.
guys. Yeah, but another character I wanted to talk about too was Ozai.
You did a good job.
I think he did a good job too. We were
You
worried
did
that
a
he
good
wasn't going to
job.
be as menacing. He was menacing.
Yeah,
That
because of the
motherfucker was
voice. It's
menacing.
just, like we talked about this with sub and dub and all that shit. Like sometimes when you hear a voice that's perfect for the person, it's hard to get that voice out of your head.
Oh, he
Like
had the
that's that person, right? And
yeah,
Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker himself was voicing Ozai, I believe.
right.
And he did such a phenomenal job with it. Like that was the only Ozai. And so when I saw the trailer and I heard the little bitch voice, I was like, nah. I was like, that's not Ozai.
He sounded
But
more menacing in the
he did a very good fucking job. Like
right.
he wasn't no Mark Hamill, but he
Right.
did a very, very good job.
Yeah, I knew that Iroh, Zuko, and Ozai were gonna have hard time because those voice actors did amazing job on all three of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, was there anything you want to bring up before we get out of here? Because we're just about at an hour, my guy.
Well, I would like to comment on Ozai as well, motherfucker.
Oh, I didn't
Um,
care, so I didn't
yeah, I can
ask.
tell. You just answer like, "All
No
right,
one
let's wrap
cares.
this up." It's like, motherfucker, you're not gonna ask
No
what
one
I
cares.
said. I was like, "What you think about Ozai?" He's like, "Oh, he did all right." You ready to wrap us up?
I only did it because I do not care.
Yeah, I can tell. Well, fuck, dude. All right, my bad. Sorry, I thought we were. Is this a podcast? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was a podcast.
Oh, I thought this was my podcast, and you were just on talking.
I jumped through the screen. You can actually see
Fucking
ours.
arms fucking coming through. Should be fucking wild.
That would be hilarious. But no, I did like Ozai as well. The only thing I didn't like that they did was the Agni Kai. I think they should have had Ozai whoop Zuko's ass because it showed how powerful Ozai was. It
Yeah.
would have at least. Whereas he's supposed to be the final boss. It's like if he's getting whooped by Zuko, then what the fuck?
Yeah, and they also I think you might have liked this, I don't remember. But they also had that scene afterwards where he's like explaining why he did what he
I
did.
did like that.
I did not.
I like that
I did
a
not
lot.
because I think one of the interesting things about Ozai as a character is that he's menacing because he's
Mysterious.
so evil, and he still has that ruthlessness in
Damn.
him. Yeah, he still has that in him, and it was just like every now and then he would let it slip out because he's more of a mysterious figure, like you were saying.
Yeah.
He's more of a mysterious figure in the anime.
Mhm.
With that being said, because of that, you don't know too much about him, but you get these little glimpses of different moments with him where you're
Mhm.
just like, okay, he's not a good dude. And then you get
Right.
random moments where you're like, oh, this is an evil motherfucker. And it
Yeah.
just kind of adds to his
Yeah.
like his legend almost. I can't think of the right word for it,
Yeah, it's the
but
classic
they add to it. And
mystery that leads to him being seen as more menacing.
so I didn't like that they added the explanation in
I
there.
did. I liked it.
Good talk.
Good talk. No, I liked it because it said the obvious, but again, it's supposed to show you his point of view and why he believes the way he is, and it's obvious. But I don't mind that it did that for the viewers who have no idea who Ozai is. I always look at this show as like introducing it to somebody who's never watched
I think that's the more
Airbender.
reason to make him mysterious because
I
that's
mean,
what they
yeah,
did in the
but
anime.
you could always reveal it later, of course, or you could just not reveal it at all and just have him be menacing like they did in the anime. They never revealed any of his ideology in the anime.
Right. Right. And we operated majority of the time in the dark,
So
and I think
it
that made him a greater feat.
no, I don't think it did because you didn't really know Ozai. If you would have known him a little bit more, I think that's
Mm.
actually one of the areas where they lacked in the show. Where if they would have shown him more, I think it would have done the show more justice when he finally beat him.
And this is why you like trash shows like this live action.
But you don't,
It
you don't.
all makes sense.
If
It
you saw
all
Frieza,
adds up.
if you
I'm
saw Frieza
connecting the
one
dots.
time and it was at the very last fight, it wouldn't be as cool. You
Depends on
know
how they
that.
did it. It
You
depends on
always
how they
say,
did
"Let
it.
me see the menacing villain," but at least like let's show some
I don't
scenes with
always
him.
say that at all.
Yeah,
Not at
yeah, you
all.
do.
How many times have I said that on this
For
podcast?
Shangri La,
So one time?
yeah, but that's the only time they haven't shown the villain by then, the main villain by then.
Okay.
You're all like, "Yeah, you made it a point to say that."
You literally said I always say that, and then you brought up
Yeah,
one
for
example.
shows where they don't reveal the main villain, you always say that.
You let me
I
know when you
can't
have
think
two
of the other
examples.
shows off the top of my head, but you're acting like you don't say that for when shows have that.
I don't.
Whatever, dude. Whatever, dude.
I don't. I
All
don't. What
right.
are your final thoughts on Avatar live
I liked
action?
it. I enjoyed it. I think they blew M Night Shyamalan out of the water. I think
Not
it's a
hard to
solid
do.
representation compared to what he did, and I don't mind telling people to watch it, especially if they have or haven't. Actually, I shouldn't say especially. It's just either if they have or they haven't. I would tell anybody to at least give it one watch. But
Yeah,
those are my final thoughts.
I obviously I didn't like it. I didn't mind it. I think people who would really enjoy this are people who haven't watched the anime. I think if you haven't watched the anime, I think it's a very very good show. Kind of like along the lines of Yu Yu Hakusho, where if you haven't watched the anime, I think you would really enjoy it. But if you have watched the anime and you really enjoyed the anime, I think majority of those people wouldn't. But I've also, as I've talked to my friend groups that actually like Avatar, I've learned that a lot of them like the show. But I see mixed opinions. I haven't really dug too deep into the community on this one. I'm not sure if you have at all since it's come out, but I've seen mixed opinions.
Overall, I'm saying they like it, but also they point out what they don't like about it. Like it's everybody's pointing out those things that we're pointing out, but they're saying they like it ultimately.
Gotcha.
That's what I've
Okay.
been seeing.
That's what you've been saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't looked too much into it, but the one I have seen it's very mixed. It's a very mixed bag, mixed enough for me to not be like I've heard majority or I've heard. I would say it's probably leaning towards majority liked. And I will add, I don't like. I've heard the people who don't like it. I don't. I don't enjoy being in the same camp as them. those motherfuckers are wild and out of control. The shit that they
Oh,
don't
like the
like.
shit that they're saying about it?
Yeah. Like they're like, I didn't like this, and I didn't
Yeah,
like that
just
Aang was 4'9" instead of 4'7". I'm like, all right, guys,
yeah,
okay,
they
all right. It's one of those things where you look at the.
they were
I looked
shitting
at
on
the
the
side.
CGI,
Yeah, CGI was phenomenal.
and they were shitting on that for the
Yeah,
people who didn't like it. I'm like, "Dude,
yeah.
come on."
See, it's one of those things where I
Like,
like
Jesus
I didn't like
Christ.
it, and I looked at my side, and I looked at your side, and I was like, I looked at everybody on my side, everybody on your side, and I was like, I don't think I belong here.
Right, and I think that's because my side is like, "Yeah, we like it, but we don't like that part. We don't like this part. We don't like
Yeah,
that part. We do like this." Whereas your
yeah,
side is like, "No, it all sucks ass." And it's like, "Okay, you're being unreasonable by
yeah. I
saying
would agree with
everything
that.
sucks ass."
I would agree with that 100% because that's not
But
the case.
yeah, we're at what, 640 somewhere around there.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate each and every one of you guys.
That's my line,
Oh
but
man,
okay.
the love. It's
All
amazing.
right.
We
Guess I'm
love
done.
it.
I guess I'm no longer
Don't
needed.
forget to
Okay.
like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to comment. Comment, comment, comment. Not Sozin's comment. Comment.
That's very funny because we're talking about Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Yeah. Did
So
you
now
see
you're
what I
doing
did
all the
there?
jokes too.
Did you see what I did there?
So you take my lines about we appreciate every single one of you guys. You take my fucking shit
I'm about to
jokes.
take your girl Suki.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I already
It's
dipped
gonna
it.
happen.
All right. Well, Blackie Chan, Comedy Hashira,
Whoa.
we out.
You saying my name now?
Yeah, don't like
Yeah.
it when it's on the other foot, huh?
We out.
We out.